Nice. I'm Theodore. Today we're going to talk about this prompt. The red means it's not a Git repository anymore. And yes, this is how you do it. And this is a listing. The listing doesn't actually go into standard output. It goes straight to the TTY. You know. And this works in any POSIX shell, so you can take it with you from bash to ZSH. And this is probably what you want it for, but also you may want to use dash for a slightly extended period of time, because you want to use dash to check if a script is POSIX compliant. If it runs in dash, then it's probably strictly POSIX enough. And you may want to take the same prompt over to Alpine Linux, where the default shell is ash. It has bash, of course, too. And you may want to take it to BSD. I'm sure BSD also has bash if you really want it. But there are some really cool benefits to having a prompt like this. For example, it's fully customizable, and when I say fully, I really mean fully. So this is what we're going to talk about. How to make one for ourselves, shall we? You may want to open a terminal, you may want to open your editor. You don't have to follow exactly what I do. In fact, I won't go all the way through, because this thing that you see, first of all, is not optimal. It's not how I would do it if I would restart it. It's like 300 lines long in a file. I'm not a proponent of this. I don't believe in this. This is nonsense, okay? I know it's not. So let's begin. I've prepared this directory. Don't let it confuse you. It's symlinks. Even without the symlinks it confuses you because it's shit. I stacked something and I didn't finish it there. So that's what happened. So let's begin. Oh yeah, let me open screen key. No. Yes. Yes. Okay. Good. How would you get started? Well, first of all, what would I like here? I would like a function, let's say print prompt. This is so annoying. And I would like to be able to say hello and oh, and it prints this thing, and in here it says hello, and there it says oh. I would like it to work this way. Wouldn't that be a good way of having things? And then the function that prints the prompt is called to take it and put it inside the PS1 variable. This is how PS1 works. The POSIX way of setting a prompt basically expects this from you. So this is how you do it actually. POSIX doesn't expect you to put the parent working directory instead of the prompt, so far as I'm aware. It doesn't expect you to put the user either. It does expect you to, if you want, to bake it in. Yes, I'm Alina, shut up. You can bake it in, so you have a bunch of remote machines. For each one you have a different configuration file, and you set the PS1 variable to something else, so it's not $ everywhere. It says your username, it says something that reminds you what remote machine that is, so you have your terminals and they have a different prompt each and whatever. Or you may want to change the prompt to remind yourself of something. Probably you would want the simplest prompt, that's probably the intended way, just $1. So how do you get this prompt? Well, I'd like a piece of functionality for printing the prompt. I'd like a piece of functionality for setting the prompt. It takes arguments. I want it to be set this way or that way. And I would like an override of the cd command. So cd triggers it, and cd will change the variable. Be careful. If you want another command to change it, like git, you kind of have to make an alias. The alias is called git, and its alias is a shell function which does things and then calls git. I know it's confusing. Let's begin, shall we? So, I actually hate this prompt. Let's see. So let me define the function. This is how you define in POSIX. You don't add the function keyword. You don't add the function keyword, as you might have seen elsewhere. This is DSH, so it does work. Dash doesn't work. Print prompt, printf. Well, let's try to mimic this, but a bit simpler. So space, make it, well, paint it with arguments, stop any color that has been there, background, not foreground, background, not red, not green, not yellow, blue. Blue sounds fine. And find working directory, why not? It's not how you do it. %s and one of these. Then stop the painting. Sorry, I've recorded this thing before. This actually looks fine, except that part. That was nonsense. And this should give us a look similar to the previous. So, get out of the way. So, now that I have something that works, I would like to put inside of a file and continue from there. I feel a little more confident. Let me take the function definition. This gets annoying. I don't know how to move it, so just won't move it. And printf, this thing, send off, let's put it in here. I'm gonna call it s.shell. I got to remind myself that it's a shell thing. I don't really care about the name. For now I remember what it is. I'm going to rename it soon. Sorry if you see E. It's an alias to something like ls. Something like ls. Okay, so this is a reminder from previous time, and there we go. Now we need screen key. Okay, and I do this. No, I do this and replace with new line and find that. Let's try it out. I hate it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll keep this open. Okay, this should fix the problem. Huh? Let's move on. So I don't really like, first of all, the way it's named. Also, I don't like the fact that I source it and I have to remember its name. Print prompt. Let's try it out. I'm confused. What's where? Okay. What's here? Oh, screw that one. And let's source it again. Much better. So first things first, I don't like the way it's called. The name is fine, but the way I call it, what I would like to do is print prompt, then say parent working directory here. Or maybe like I say hello there, and I see hello, and I see there. Why would I want to be able to print something here? Well, to try it out. But also to like prank people and to make fake commands. Or whatever. So right now this won't work. Let's go back in here and let's change it up, shall we? So I wanted this. I would also like that. Seems good enough. Let's try it out. Good thing. Yeah, that's how I would like to work. One or two things different though. I like to be able to add a new line in the end. So like, if there is a third argument, you could say if the number of arguments is the string 3, and this is the test command. First argument, second argument, third argument, fourth argument of this command. Yes, it's confusing, but you actually do find in here too, ls/bin grep this. It's not a regular expression. It does exist. It is a thing. I swear it's a thing. If this, then printf a new line 3. So now I can do that thing, add another argument, new line. No other argument, no new line. Handy. So now I would like a few things, but let's take the priorities one by one. I think that the highest priority right now is I'd like to be able to do things on CD, because I would need to call this on CD. So let's see how this could be possible at all. So how did I do it beforehand? How did I do it in my, in my kernel configuration? Well, I alias CD equals something else, and that something else would be really complicated, wouldn't it? If it's so complicated, custom CD. Hello. I would probably want to make it clear. This can freak you out. Actually, why not? Alias CD, you know what alias CD does, right? This is POSIX. This is POSIX. So, alias CD. So good, we can move on. I know exactly what's about to happen, but let's walk through it little by little. I actually don't want to walk through it, but you can tell that something is off, right? With alias CD, and then this definition gets sourced. What does a shell store? Does it store this string? Maybe. Does it parse it and then store the keywords? Maybe. But what happens to the aliases? The aliases actually get expanded during the definition. So if you have an alias during the definition, it's going to expand inside and it will turn into this. Oops. Okay, it's good that I didn't save. So this is a big no-no. You would want this to happen last. What you would want to happen first is an alias CD, and if you can't find what you were looking for, cool, nobody cares. So there we go. And let's try it. CD back, CD forward. What's the parent working directory? I actually CD it back. The prompt didn't change though. We are on a good path. So we would like things to happen after the CD. We would like ps1 equals print prompt parent working directory, nothing. Actually, you don't need that. Let's try it. Do I need all of this? No. Alright. Now I think we can clean it up a little. I would like this to go to the top. I would like to add a warning, just in case. Warning, CD must not be aliased during the definition of custom CD. Also, let me... Thank you. Let me move s.shell into like POSIX prompt.shell. That sounds better to me. Now its name is overlong, so maybe we would want POSIX prompt to be linked symbolically into something else. What could that be? Guess S. Why not? Okay, I didn't have to do that. So now I can go like that. Let me clean up some more. I would like to make it clear what this does. Maybe, right? No. Also I would like some space here, and maybe some space here, and maybe new line character. Let's try it out. And why not? I'm going to make more of these. That is gonna be the next thing I do. By the way, this pace of working, yeah, that's my preferred way of working. It's not the only way of making software, but it's totally my favorite. So, let me remember. Yeah, friendly reminder. Calling cd inside of a shell function works exactly like you typed, as if you typed it yourself. Now, having cd inside of an executable, it opens a new process, and that process will cd. It's not going to do what you think it will do. So this has to be a shell function. What has a cd needs to be a shell function. Print prompt may very well be a standalone executable. It would make total sense for it to be, actually. And if this file grows too much, definitely go ahead. So, next up. You could say you want the colors to change, but I haven't shown you this. And it's wrong. There we go. Has its own one. And I have another one too. I don't remember what for. I would like to be able to do the same thing. I would like to be able to change prompts at will. And that's where it starts to get fun. Well, before we get into it, a few things you may wonder. How did I make these slashes? Not with the tr command. The tr command is a nice command. Where is it? Very handy. You can't do this because this is multiple bytes. It's not one byte. You can tell how I did that one and that one. Why is it 2 lines? Actually, it's mandatory to make it 2 lines. I don't know if I mentioned it on this take, but because there are multiple characters, because this is multiple bytes, because this is multiple bytes, because there are these bytes denoting the color, the terminal thinks this is a phrase that's about like this long. It thinks this is how long it is. So if you type after it, and you type and you type and you type and you type, it will think you reached here, but you've actually reached there, and it's going to line break. Actually, it's going to do some really goofy things which make no sense. So to avoid it, I add another line without color. Be careful with ZSH. ZSH requires you to add some other nonsense. Printf I only do this for ZSH. Normally you don't have to do this. It's bullshit. But ZSH requires it. So yeah, you may want different versions of the print prompt. How do you do this? Do you add a global variable? Do you add a configuration option? Do you add multiple functions? Well, I would like to be able to go default prompt print. I would like to be able to do that. It just makes sense. So I'm going to do just that. Now, what if the different prompts share a lot of code? I'll put that code somewhere, and then willingly they may use it. I won't force them to use it. So, print prompt, print default prompt, let's not break what we have already. Alright. I'm starting not to like these, but until they get too annoying, I'm gonna keep them. Let's try it out. Haven't broken it yet. Print default prompt. Print angry prompt. And I'm going to use, well, I guess a different color. I'll also add a foreground color, foreground black. And I'm gonna replace this with something better. Like this UTF-8 glyph. They're called glyphs. They are called UTF-8 characters. We can find them as any of the two. So I'm gonna paste it. Should I do it this way? I think yeah. Actually, this is not necessary, is it? And these lines start to get annoying, so I may have to reconsider them. And this thing is the same for both functions, so I should reconsider it too. Okay. Let's add another glyph in front. Maybe before I start, I would like I don't remember what it's called. Left half circle. The way I stored it, I guess. I don't remember where I found them. I found them somewhere online, then I sorted them kind of thoroughly. I better not do this actually. Let's do this and see what happens. Print angry prompt. What did I do? It didn't work exactly the intended way, did it? Yeah, you need to switch things around. (033) escape code. The terminal will read it. It knows I'm about to say something cool, and I'm gonna say background black. Actually no, just foreground red color. M is one of the functions. There are more functions. There are functions for moving the cursor around, There are functions for cleaning stuff, clearing lines. I don't remember what other functions there are. I think there is one for making a bell sound. Because the terminal is this program that you throw characters at and it prints them like a typewriter. Except if you give it an escape character and then an escape sequence. These are called escape sequences. And then it does something else instead of printing the character. And I would like this same thing to happen here. Let's try it out. I'm going to source this first and then. Not bad, not bad. And so on and so forth. Let's make this a little cleaner before I leave. I'll leave the rest up to you. How do you get information from whether this is a Git repository or not? There are some Git commands that will fail unless you are inside of a Git repository. So you can make Git shut up and then see whether it borked or not. And based off of that, you know if you are in a Git repository. You'll find multiple ways online. Print prompt. Case 1 in, I guess you can do it this way. Prompt style is equals default. Prompt printer? Oh, that sounds good. Print default prompt. Okay. I'm not sure I like this. Okay, let's see. Prompt printer equals print angry prompt. Why did it lag? I don't know. CD back, CD forward, and default prompt. Good. And so on and so forth. For the slashes you would want sed or awk. You would want, of course, some glyph here. Make sure there are 2 lines. It won't work otherwise. And you may reuse these functions for something like what I have as a log. Where did my screen key go? I forgot to turn it on again, eh? A log works this way. Echo high instead of temporary log input. It does this. I basically use this for compiling when I run projects. So you can reuse this prompt for a bunch of things if you want to, etc. Final cleanup, because we can't leave this mess the way it is. They both have the same ending, they both have new line thing the same way. Print prompt template, I guess. I don't know if that's a good name or not. It does all of this where the custom part is, I suppose, this part. Sounds right. Sounds right. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. That it doesn't complain. I don't know why it doesn't complain. Anyway. And this is 4. And now a bunch of things change. Print, prompt, template, template. And I'll give it this thing. Find the next quote, which I can't see anymore. I'm gonna chop off this part. Notice that it willingly chooses this function. Not this one calls that one. This one calls that one. As in, yes, I consent, I don't want to make my custom version, I'm gonna use a template willingly. And I'll choose which template I want. And one of the same up here. Let me take that off. This one, that one. Even simpler. And let's see. Stop. And oh, I did a bunch of things. Let's try it again. Okay. What was it again? Prompt printer. Good. I call success. It's 35 lines long. Fine. Except you may want the printer to be in standalone executable. Enough. 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 I think we're good enough. At this point you may want to store it somewhere better. How long is this version of the video? I'm scared. Okay. Whatever you want to take from it. Basically, I ask myself, what do I want to get? Try to get it, see if I got it, and move on. The best thing that can happen, in my opinion, is you have like a big panel of switches and knobs to turn on and off, and you can try things out, and you can play around with things, and you can tell, alright, this seems to work fine, that seems to work fine. I suppose they are connected in the wrong way. Where are they connected? I see they are connected here. No, they are connected correctly, actually. Let's try again and take it on from there. And I constantly question, where is the documentation? And I don't mean comments, I mean, how do people get to know how this thing works? And where's my table of contents? And I don't mean weird comments that play the role of a table of contents. I mean, the directory has a bunch of files. Is it a bunch of like files that are being sourced? If so, reading those, does it feel like a table of contents? I would like to feel like a table of contents. Like, you read what's in the directory and you say, oh, I see what there is in here. I see what sort of code I can find. And the code is, you know, the files are not spiced up by, you know, each file has code that looks one way, top to bottom. I don't think that's a good way to split files. I think a good way to split files is this one is made for this purpose, that one's made for that purpose. Also, I want this, where am I? I would like the top function or so to like act like a table of contents. And this kind of does. Good enough. And as you're reading further and further, it's like you're getting deeper and deeper into the logic. And deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. From the things that you care most about, that you care the least about. And generally it's not it doesn't remind of an energetic introvert. I don't think so. Programming in a way that gives you a sense of luxury, that gives you a sense of a relaxing feel, is rather cool, I think. And it's actually rather slow. If someone is into doing things fast, whatever that means, maybe she would get frustrated as I was working back there. But if you wanna give it a shot, working this way, I highly recommend it. I would like this program to interface in this way, let's try to make it so, and so on and so forth. I'm sure I have to add a lot. I kept some notes from the previous takes. This is like the 6th take, the 7th take. Not sure what I missed. I must have missed a lot. But please let me know in the comments if you want to leave a comment. I would be very happy to help. Have a good journey. I hope your prompt gets better than mine. It's not too difficult actually, because I quit working on it a long time ago. And of course, if you don't want to carry your prompt with you, don't do this. Although, keep in mind that you can carry it outside of prompts. You can just print prompt looking things and prank your friends. I love that. I haven't done it ever, but I would love to do it one day. That's about it. See you next time.